everybody out there? Is Ron, founder of the NYP talk show in the building, fitness professional, aka Soul Brother number one,
I
reporting for
can't hear
duty.
nobody.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. All right. So dig it. If anyone has J Mo's number, can someone contact him and let him know to click out and then come back on? Because right
Yeah, I'm
now,
finna do that right now.
all right,
I'm
all
finna
right,
do that right now. I'm finna click out and come back in.
all right. That's peace.
All
All
right.
right, all right. So now, today we're talking about West Coast versus East Coast hip hop. Right. I like to put the verses up there because people like to see verses. They like to see controversy, but this is not necessarily a versus. You know what I'm saying? We're just speaking on hip hop history, preferably Oakland, because I am very interested in Oakland MCs, Oakland hip hop, because some of my favorite rappers come out of Oakland. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, to start off the conversation, when I had that title up there, West Coast versus East Coast hip hop, what's the first thing that came to your mind? Let's start with Big C.
First thing came to my mind is the controversy of Tupac and Biggie. You know, coming from Oakland, we was raised in the mentality of the Panthers, man. You know, black brotherhood, togetherness. So when that's the first thing to come to my mind. It's different styles, but the foundation is still the same.
Okay. So different style foundation is still the same, being that it comes from the root, the soil, hip hop, Bronx, and all of that type of stuff. That is that what you
Yeah,
mean?
you know, we got it. I remember in the '80s when I seen, I used to listen to Spoonie G when I was a young. So I'm in my '50s. I'm up there. So I came in on Spoonie G, Spider D, AM PM, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, Run DMC, all the classics. You know, Melly Mel. You know, Melly Mel made us want to rap. You know, so when I heard the message, it was over. You know, so I give props to the Bronx, man, where it came from. But I'm from Oakland, California, and we got some spitters out here too with the same energy and the same spirit.
Right. Now check this out. Now you're a little older than me, right? So Spoonie G, I didn't get that. I started listening to hip hop with Biz Markie.
Okay. I seen Biz tear the Oakland Coliseum up at the Fresh Fest. I came in, he was doing that day.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love Biz Markie. So, Make the Music with Your Mouth Biz was one of the beats that you would hear coming down Foothill Boulevard, knocking hard with 215s and somebody in some Zenith and Vogues or a nice color paint. That's what we was knocking back then too.
Indeed. So now give me some history around or some music around Spoonie G and the artists that you mentioned. Because as I said, I'm a little younger, you know what I mean? So
Okay.
I don't remember Spoonie G. I don't remember those guys.
Okay, like Sequence, Wham, Bam, the Monster Jam, all that was house music. That was house party music to us. So we were in the 80s, or late 79, 80s, when the Sugar Hill Gang came out and Grandmaster Flash was doing their thing. That was like house party music. We used to have house parties every weekend, different spots throughout the city, and that's what they would be playing. That's what would be playing in the old school cars, that music. And that was the introduction to us into hip hop from the beginning, from the very early stages. You would get records and you would have instrumentals on the other side. And we would get those instrumentals and we would rap over those instrumentals. And that's how Too Short started doing it. Too Short's first songs, he was rapping over instrumentals from the East Coast.
Got you. All right. So hip hop started in the late 70s, if I'm not mistaken, in the
Right.
Bronx. I think it was Sedgwick Avenue and all that. So the late 70s. So when did Oakland, California get into the hip hop? Like as far as like putting the first artists out. So who was the first artist in what year?
About 1980, I was going to Roosevelt Junior High School in the 20s. We call it the Dubs, the Murder Dubs, the Trumps, the Rolling 20. That's where I grew up at. And it was a guy named Super Rat. He came through. Back then, you had the Egyptian Lover that was DJing from LA. So our first entry into it was Super Rat. We heard Super Rat, and he was an older guy on a motorcycle. But then shortly after that, you got Too Short. And Too Short used to be on the bus. We would get on the 40 bus. Back then everybody was on the bus. We didn't have cars. We were youngsters. So that was like the social gathering for everybody. We just get on there to ride. And Too Short to be on there playing his mixtapes and playing his music, and he was tight. He was different, He was totally different from New York. It was a unique sound coming from our area, and he was talking about, everything Short was talking about, and the way he rapped embodied the energy of the town at that time.
Now,
So he
I'm sorry.
came off. He came off that bus when he used to perform at house parties. He was very popular, and Too Short was our first introduction to it. I had a cousin named Tony G. Tony G was killed a long time ago, and Tony Grant. And Tony used to try to challenge Too Short. So we'd have battles at the YMCA parties. They throw parties at the YMCA, and we get into it, fighting and stuff like that. But that was our first introduction into rap. Too Short coming on there doing Blowjob Betty, Invasion of the Flat Booty Bees. And that's where it started at, man.
All right. So, but
Hey,
before I move on to to LDs or Yaya, I want to ask Big C this. Now, being that hold on a second. Being that from what I know being on the East Coast, the Rolling 20s is a Crip gang, right?
Let me laugh loud at that.
oh,
We don't gang bang like
no,
that in Oakland.
Right. So
Never
that
have.
exactly. So that's where
Yes, the
now so
rolling 20s and the rolling 60s in
60.
LA is a Crip gang. The
Right.
20s is one of the older African American neighborhoods in East Oakland, and it's home. There was a lot of vice in that area. Back in the day, we had a kingpin in that area by the name of Mickey Moore, and on 23rd, and they were our first celebrities. You know, they were the guys that looked like the rappers now, and this is like 78, 79. So the Dubs, our thing in our city back then. I'm a grown ass man. Excuse my language. Out of my work right now, but we were in the streets and we were just a neighborhood and we stuck together.
Right.
But we didn't gang
hey,
bang back.
AC,
We had cousins
hey,
from Sobrante Park, from West Oakland, from 85th, and we wasn't pushing no line like that. We
All
just
right.
we just we just
AC,
identified as where we came from.
All right. So
AC,
real
give
quick.
them a little context to let them know how far Oakland is from LA real quick, because they don't really know.
Can't hear you.
Tell them how
All right.
far Oakland is from LA.
Right. Real quick. One more question because that's a great point right there. Oakland from LA, right? Now, but just
Yeah.
before we go into that, because that's a good point. Here's a segue to it. So now I know y'all don't have gangs in Oakland. That's something I know for sure, right? But what you say about Juice and Messy Marv, who are from Oakland, if I'm not mistaken, right? But they're like Bloods.
They're from San Francisco, but they're outsiders to that mentality is like a what we would call nut hanging. He's don't nobody do that but him. I think he's the only blood member in his gang. I don't
Okay.
know nothing about that because I
Juice,
don't see a,
Juice,
a big
actually,
set of bloods in San Francisco operating like that unless it's the Vietnamese or the Samoans.
Okay.
Juice
Okay.
actually comes from
J-Mo, we
Sacramento.
can't hear J-Mo talking.
Yeah, I hear J Mo.
Okay.
Juice Juice actually comes from Sacramento from Oak Park Bloods. So that's where his affiliation comes from, of the blood thing. Meth, he just picked that up. He
I can't hear
so-called
him.
picked it from jail, from Arkansas, some his family from Arkansas, and he got put on from through them or something like that. So, like C was saying, he basically was nut hanging and doing something that was very unheard of. In the Bay Area, the Samoans and the Asians are the only that deal with the Crips and Bloods thing, or in San Jose. Also in San Jose, they have Crips and Bloods.
Okay. Okay. So now to back to LD's point, where he was saying how far is Oakland from Los Angeles?
5 hours.
God damn.
Yes, Yeah, it's essentially from like New York to DC or something like that. It's like 500 miles roughly.
Okay. So it would like if we talking from a New Yorker's perspective, that's like from New York City to Buffalo, New York.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's like New York to Buffalo or Niagara, somewhere up there for sure.
Yes. Yeah.
yeah, we 5 hours away, and our cultures are totally night and day.
Right. Same as NYC and Buffalo. Right.
Yep. And that kind of bleeds over into when people talk about the West Coast, they specifically are talking about LA, and they really don't look at the Northern California music scene as a viable way to actually have any foothold. And when we talk about, the difference between the regions of the music and how we say our rhymes.
Okay, can you give me an example?
For instance, Northern California is more, I would say, mob music, which is a kind of like a subsidiary of gangster rap, if you want to put it like that. Mob music is more about the hustle, about the game, about sharing ideas and thoughts. Rather so than in my opinion, Southern California music is more about embellishing the gang culture out there. It's not that outside of Bloods and Crips, what culture does LA really give to the music scene? When you talk about like the rap acts that are out right now, like the Black Hippie Cats and the Kendrick's Camp and stuff like that, that's a relatively new wave when it comes to that aspect of Los Angeles music or Southern California music being put to the front.
Okay. Okay. All right. So
I
explain.
feel like, and then I feel like just like in the Bay, there's a lot of different varieties everywhere up in California of different sounds and different techniques and different ways they approach the music. But what's publicized and put out there in the mainstream is usually the G rap, the gangster stuff. You know what I'm saying? So if you were to spend time in LA, or if you were seeking straight hip hop, straight backpack, straight lyrical, assassin, or battle rap, you can find that anywhere up and down California. It's just what they want to, the stigma that they want to stick upon us. Just like in the Bay, it's not just all mob music and to that extent. It's not just all hyphy music to that extent. It's a bunch of everything out there. Like the biggest, one of the largest collections is the Hyro crew, which I'm affiliated with, and Social Missions. There's not a Bay Area group artist that tour more than Social Mission, but yet they're never mentioned when you talk about Oakland artists.
Wow. Wow. Now, Casual, is he from? He's from Oakland.
Hyro. Yes, he's
Okay.
from Hyro. He's a Hyro.
Yeah. Casual is one of my favorite MCs of all time.
Man, dude's been a monster for years, man. It's like, man, it's crazy because when you talk about bar smiths and multi-syllables and in and out and typewriter rhymes and stuff like that, Casual's been doing that for years. And like, it's kind of like when you talk about just like how J-Mo was saying, how it's a lot of different styles of rap that don't get put to the front because of the ones that are commercially accepted on the broad stream. We have like our equivalent to Big L would have been Rap and Rhyme. You dig what I'm saying? when we talk about certain rap characters or certain rap acts and stuff like that, like even though Humpty is from Brooklyn by way of Tampa, and you're saying that whole idea of like the different personas like Cool Keith and things like that, that's something that was always organically a part of our culture anyway.
Okay.
Very.
Now I want you to explain the history because I know about Too Short, right? So Too Short came about. I was watching Too Short on I think it was, I don't know what it was. I think it was Video Music Box. One of the, well, actually, Video Music Box is actually NY, but it was another show that used to come on. We used to watch all the brothers from the West Coast.
It was called a jukebox at first, and then it got transferred to the box.
Yeah.
Ah, you're right. You're right about that. Yep. That's when you can make calls, right? You can call in.
Yeah.
And you can call in and request whatever joint you want to have on.
I can't hear the brother Ron.
You can't hear me? Check. You hear me now? Oh, you might have to go out and come back in. Yeah. So let's continue to build on this. So now the jukebox then became the box. That's where I think I saw that. And then there was another show that came on later on. Was that MTV? Nah, it couldn't have been MTV.
It might have been BET Uncut. I think that might have been. That's what it was. It wasn't too many. Unless you want to go back to like Friday night videos on NBC back in the day or something like that. But our stuff wasn't on that, so it had to be either the box or BET Uncut.
Yeah. You yo. If you don't mind me asking, how old are you, brother?
I'm 43.
Yeah, so we the same age. So yeah. Got you. All right, so on the box.
Stove too.
You said what?
Stove was
that's right.
station that we see all the local artists on too. It was like a production from a local producer. I forgot his name. What is his name? What's his name, J-Mo?
Chuck Johnson. Chuck Johnson.
Yeah, Chuck Johnson. Chuck Johnson used to be the owner of Soul Beat, and he would have local host shows, and they would play our periodic throughout their shows.
Big C, your sound sounds a little janky, but if you try to fix your sound if you can. So now, give me a little more history, right? Like a timeline. So I remember coming up watching Too Short when he had a hairline. You know what I'm saying? So after Too Short came, who else? Well, matter of fact, who came before Too Short? You said his name was Rat somebody?
What's his name? Super Rat.
So
motorcycle, and he keep riding up in the motorcycle and be, I'm the Super Rat. You can't hit that. 1980s music, man.
I gotta look that up now. So you got Super Rat, and then after that Too Short, and then after Too Short, was it E40 or am I bugging out?
Bay Area wise, you had like what? Rapping Forte, Kimmy Fresh, Richie Rich. They were all kind of like, cause like Too Short.
You gotta say 415 because Richie was in 415 first.
Right. It's kind of safe. Is it safe to say that Too Short and LL is kind of like contemporaries as far as like time wise?
Yeah, Too Short created the Dangerous Crew. She had a lot of groups like they said, Rapping Ron and them, and what was it? Remember Dub put out that compilation that was knocking. You had Dave D producing Cell Block, you know.
Father Dom.
Father Dom, FM Blue. You had a bunch of artists, man.
MC Boo.
Me. Next to Kimmy and my brother. Yeah.
Right.
It was a name, you know.
But hold on one second, Big C. Your sound sounds a little funny, and people are gonna pick that up on Spotify and all that type of stuff. So if you could fix that, that'll be peace. But can someone pick up from where he left off?
Can you hear me a little bit right now?
No, it's still funny.
All right, let me try to take the hold on. Let me try to see if it's earphones. Hold on. Fix my headphones.
All right, J Mo is stationary right now. J Mo, you hear me?
Yeah, man. My apologies.
It's okay. Don't worry about it, brother. So now we were running down like the history after Too Short, like the rappers that came after Too Short. I said I threw E40 in there just to throw him in there to see.
Oh, I'm tripping. MC Hammer. We tripping. MC Hammer.
Hold on. So MC Hammer came after Too Short?
Yep, he came at around what 86-ish, 86, 7.
Okay. What would if I don't know if you could recall, how did he start? Because like in New York, like a lot of rappers, they battle on the street, they come from that kind of cloth. MC Hammer, I know he was tough, like he might beat you up if you get out of line from what I'm hearing. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know what? I'm gonna tell you like this. I was a little kid, but I'm gonna actually have to have J-Mo or Big C answer this because they got a few years on me. But what I know about MC Hammer is that he used to go to local clubs and do his songs, and they just spin his record. And I think they just used to it used to be hella people dancing, and they just used to own the floor. If that's just how I remembered it. But I was like 8 years old or 10. But J-Mo or Big C will be able to give you a direct, more of a valid interpretation of how MC Hammer got put on.
Okay, J-Mo, Big C's sound. We wait trying to see his Big C sound is copacetic. But J-Mo, so what do you recall about MC Hammer? J-Mo, you hear me? All right.
I think he froze out.
He froze out.
Yeah.
All right. So Big C, what's going on? How did you see it?
Ask the question again, brother.
So we J-Mo back. So after Too Short, you had MC Hammer. How did MC Hammer come up in his day? Like, was he a MC rhyming on a block? Well, how did that work?
Okay, so before rapping, we were dancing. Before dancing, we was pop locking. We was breaking, and that's the road that MC Hammer made it through. He was a cold dancer. They used to call him Sweaty Stanley. He used to go and bust moves through the dance and sweat it out, dancing real hard. And that's how he kind of got his reputation around the town, as far as, everybody knowing that he was a dancer. When we all danced, did our dance, our break dancing and dancing. Then music, when the rap started coming in, everybody started, upgrading and transferring over to rapping and stuff like that. So naturally, I guess his talent, caught up with his dancing, and that's why he's more widely known as the greatest entertainer versus a rapper.
That makes a lot of sense. You summed that up. So now after you got Too Short, then you got MC Hammer. Who was the next MC? I heard somebody say rapper Forte.
No, Forte from San Francisco, but he was in the same era. Yes and no. He's from Frisco, but yet he was in the same era with Short. After Short, you would get 415. You would get 415, which was Richie Rich, D-Lo, DJ Daryl. They started bubbling and coming. Pooh Man, MC Pooh, all them around at that area. But the savior, I would believe, not lyrically, but as a producer, was Ant Banks. Ant Banks was a producer, was our Dr. Dre. He was.
Wait a minute, Ant Banks. You know what name comes after Ant Banks, right? Spice One.
Yeah. So Banks been around a long time, and Banks been a lot of like MC Ant, rest in peace, Dangerous Dane, Rally Row, These is, cats that I came my age limit, my age group that when I was dancing and started pop locking and started rapping. These are the cats that my peers. Uh, Banks was the one who went through. He was there through all them. Through he was an understudy at Too Short, and then through him, everybody else came.
Mm. Okay, so I heard of Aunt Banks from Spice One. Who made those beats in the
Keep
early
losing
Spice
the
One?
sound. I can't hear. I can't hear the brother Ron.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
I can hear
No.
you.
You can hear me?
Yes.
Big C can hear me. All right. So with Spice One, let's go. I'm going back to the Spice One. Who made those beats on
I can't hear you.
Spice One's album?
And Banks.
Spice One dad, yeah, I think Aunt Banks did, but Spice One's dad was his first producer, and he whatever they got those beats from. Do you think they got 187 proof from Aunt Banks? Is that where it came from?
No, I don't think Banks didn't produce 187 proof.
Yeah, that was like his dad was like they were older men back then. Because I stayed in the back of Spice One and them. I know his mom and that we grew up together, and his dad was connected with some people, and
Spice
they
One,
gave him some professional beats.
Spice One started rapping because Big C was rapping first, and then Spice and them
Yo,
got on. Zoe and Spice and them started following C.
what? That's crazy. Hold on, Big C. That's on the camera right now.
Yeah, yeah,
Damn.
that
Hold
was
up.
yeah.
Hold up,
They were
bro.
like my
Hold up.
little.
Time out. Hold up. First of all, Spice One is one of my
Damn,
favorite rappers.
I can't hear the brother Ron, man.
Spice One is one of my favorite rappers, and so is Casual. So now, hold up. Spice One started rapping, following behind Big C. Okay, so
Yeah, I was like the older.
okay, so where did Spice One get his style from? Like he had a lot of different styles.
Yeah, Spice always talked like that, man. He just was very creative, and he would tell you these stories. And when he did that, that was like incredible to us, man. But, I had a rap called Scarface, Tony Montana, alias Scarface, and we also used to make little stuff. But when he did that, it just came out of him, man. That he's authentic. He always been like that.
His content is super violent though.
I'm gonna leave out and come back again because I can't hear the brother Ron, man.
All
I
right,
definitely need to hear him.
got you.
Okay, yeah, his style, where did he get all the violence from? Where the town back then, Oakland was a very violent place back then. The '80s and the crack era and all that generation. So Spice lived in Hayward, though. My mom stayed out there for I think 2 years. That's when we stayed on Arthur Ave behind them, and he would, we had a paper, the Oakland Tribune was very popular. So you could go on the Tribune every day and see who got killed, and at the end of the year, they would put the faces in the paper. It'd be like 160. Oakland's not a big city, but 160 was a lot to us. 200, that's a hell of a lot. So Spice was very creative, man. He was around it, but he was raised as a good kid.
Okay. He was around it, but he was raised as a good kid. That's kind of interesting, though. Because the content says something else, though. So, hold on. Did Big C got knocked out of there? Okay.
And I think that's in that part of the allure of rap in general is that, let's be real about it. 99% of rap is just boisterous talk. Most of the people who out there really doing the stuff that they're doing, not really talking about it. It's just the trend now to where everybody's getting themselves indicted because they putting what they do in their raps. But I think the aspect of what rap has always been, it has been this grandiose, larger than life persona.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. Because
Hey, man, for some reason I can't hear Ron.
Okay.
I can hear everybody else but Ron.
Check. You hear me now? Nope, you don't hear me now. All right. So this is what we're gonna have to do. You're gonna have to like relay the message to J Mo somehow. But so we're talking about Spike One and how he basically Big C said he grew up as like a regular kid or what have you, right? But and the content was exaggerated, I guess. But now let's. But damn, and I have so many more questions about
Well,
Spike's.
let me chime in on that. Why? Let me chime in on why it was exaggerated, because that's what we were seeing every day, and like we would make when you rapping, you want to make these stories as believable and as raw as possible. Spice did grow up around some stuff, but he was able to make music and get out of that. And at one time, Spice was on the block. I used to go by telling him to get off 23rd because, go to the studio, man. What you do? He had to make a little money. He was hustling. He was welcome around, he was at home around the gangsters. And, he got some gangster in him, but he was a rapper. Now we, on the other hand, me and my brother Lorenzo, we were the kind of rappers that we were living it by not by choice, by necessity. We had to get out there and hustle to survive. So that was what we hustled. We hustled. We used to sell coke, and everybody around the country. I'm pretty sure at that time that's what young people was doing, except the ones that was doing right. But we were in the streets and we were living that life. And that's what we were talking about. And we used to call the gangster music reality rap, because this is what the reality was. It was just, the first and the 15th, the police, um, killing, all the stuff, and we was around that all our life. So we talked about that. At this present point, when I seen that era led to this era. The crackheads, crack babies. Um, Disenfranchised children being raised without fathers and stuff like that. But it really was real hard back in the 80s and the 90s. There was a lot of death, a lot of destruction in our communities, and that's where all that stuff came from. He got
Now
it
let me
honest.
now let me ask you this. So in NY, the 80s and 90s. So I grew up in Harlem, and so I saw like fiends and all of that, and the effects of crack, like live and live and direct, like every day. You know what I'm saying? So you know, I know what it was like from my environment. Like I grew up in the projects next to another project next to 8th Avenue, where it's like, y'all already know like the Alpo and AZ and all of them. I grew up in that area right there.
Right,
You know what
right.
I'm saying? So
Right.
like if like that movie Paid in Full was definitely somewhat of a depiction of what we experience. You know what I'm saying? So you could kind of like get an idea. Now in Oakland, there was no movie made. I remember the only movie I watched from like that was made in well depicted like what Oakland was like from the Black Panther movie, like Huey P. Newton and stuff like that. So
The
what
Mac.
Nah, but I say the Mac was shot in Oakland, and it gave a keyhole into the culture, the street culture, Oakland. I guess I think that's another thing too about Oakland in particular. Not to spin off another, but there's a lot of influence of the whole global market that came specifically from Oakland that doesn't even get touched on.
all right. So
Even the
now
comic book, even the comic book Black Panther, that first part is in Oakland.
And
Right.
I feel like one of the I mean I feel like the depiction of how we seen Harlem and Paid in Full is visions of what we would see in Oakland. Like you see, it was the same thing. Young dudes,
Exactly.
too much money, gathering, kicking it, showboating, acting a fool, being who's stylish, who had the most style. It was basically the same thing, just on a different side of the coast.
Yeah, we had a
Like,
guy
like
named Pondo White selling hundreds of kilos a week. Emmanuel Lacey. We had some crack superstars in our area, in our town too.
And even if you go like
Little
with
girl.
earlier, when she was talking about our neighborhood, Mickey Mo. Mickey Mo was the first $1 million drug dealer out of Oakland. He put on Felix Mitchell. He put on Harvey Winston. So he the one who put them on. He was the first millionaire drug dealer out of Oakland. Not nothing to brag about, but he also was the first independent rap label in Oakland. If Too Short just did an interview speaking on how he wanted to sign to Hodis Records, which was owned by Mickey Mo, how he would
Yeah.
go by his office and trying to catch him there, and he just wanted to give him a demo. He wanted to be signed to them. So that's another part of our history, that gets taken out the picture a lot.
All
yeah,
right.
we had our own stage. Like y'all had y'all stage. So like back in the day, like West Mac. West Mac was pretty much our stage. That's where all the rollers would be with their cars and the stroll and all that different stuff. Of course, East 14th or International, whatever they call it now, whatever the case may be, has always been one of them. But when it comes to everybody stepping out and showing out, popping out, West Mac was where it was.
Okay, okay. So West Mac was like like a what was it like? Was it like a mall?
Well, I
Was
mean,
it
it's like how you got like Hollis and you got Malcolm X that run through Harlem and all that type of stuff, right? So in Oakland, we got like four main, I would say, boulevards or corridors that take you from either east to west or north to south in
oh
respectively. So Bancroft, Foothill, MacArthur goes from West Oakland all the way to Deep East Oakland, and Foothill, Bancroft, they pretty much run parallel to East 14th in that aspect of things. But West Mac and Market in West are pretty much the longest corridors on that side of Oakland.
And back then,
And San Pablo, don't forget
San
Pablo.
Pablo, excuse me, that's right. Excuse me, man. My bad, man.
it was focused around pimping. About time the drugs hit the scene, things was more east. The limelight and all the shine, it was Foothill Boulevard and things of that sort. Bancroft, MacArthur East on the east, more of that. But back then, when it first started, and it was the scene, it was the stage. It was based a lot around pimping.
all right. All
Exactly.
right. All right. Big C, your ear is on camera.
Oh man, let me cut that off. My bad.
uh it's all good. We got to know you today, brother. We got to know you. Yo, so now, so you talking about like basically like Fifth Avenue in Manhattan that go all the way up like that, right? Like Fifth Avenue, Madison, Malcolm X, like that, like in New York. I see what you're
What
saying.
was interesting is like if you look at how New York is mapped, San Francisco Bay Area is mapped exactly the same way. The same people who developed Central Park did Golden Gate Park in San Francisco. Also, we also had the Bay Bridge was also set up the exact same way that the Brooklyn Bridge when they used to have a trolley to go across it. And they called Oakland Brooklyn. So there's a lot of nuances that carry over, from East Coast to West Coast in terms of the demographic wise of how it was set up.
Got you. So let's go back to the hip hop questions, right? Even though I want to get more into the street culture a little bit, that I guess we could save that for another time. Now, Spice One, after Spice One, or we got the Super Rat, which is the craziest name ever. Super Rat to Too Short to MC Hammer, and then who's next after that?
It's a whole plethora of people after that, because by then everybody could see what was going on. Short showed the world independent hustle. Like I can't trace the independence back to nobody else but Short in Oakland, and
That's
he
a
showed
good point, brother. Damn.
he short.
That's a good point. I gotta cut you off. I don't normally do that on this podcast, but this is some dope shit. So now look, the hustle you talking about. Do you think what's his name? Master P got that from Richmond out there?
No,
He
he
got
got it
that
from
from short.
he got it from he got it from Oakland. I mean, if he got it from Richmond, Richmond got it from Oakland. So it's the same thing. Richmond is like a smaller city, like our little brother city. You know what I'm saying? They just as
Yeah,
vicious. just
And
as
Richard
wild.
had a rapper. Richard had a rapper too, Calvin T from the old school.
Calvin T still alive, and so Richmond, if you know, everybody around the Bay Area got that scene, the come up of Too Short. He what people don't know, the Short would do is he would target people with cars and money, and he would go make a rap with their name in it, and then he'll find them and sell them that tape. That was his marketing.
Like
You know.
Brucey B in Harlem.
Exactly. And so that picked up to where now the whole town got a song with their name in it and everybody trying to find Too Short. Now everybody else is picking up on that game. Uh they seen 75 Girls record label come into the Dangerous Crew and all that stuff. So now you got a whole plethora of cats coming out at that point. You got your MC Pools, you got your MC Ants, you got
Like Dynasty.
Seagram.
Sieg, a lot like you got a bunch of cats coming out at that time. Now it's not just one person. It's not just he the rapper of the city. Everybody's trying to put their talent to some use. Rap Attack. Who remember Rap Attack?
Yeah.
Old
Oh,
school.
you bring what was Drew Down rap name before we drew down? Was it Drucifer or something like that? Something crazy like that?
That sound crazy.
That was
Yeah, yeah, man, that's old school. You gotta know around to be around to say that, man.
But like
Did
artists
y'all
like
know that? Did y'all know that M Banks made Pimp of the Year?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah,
Wow, that's some history right there. That's a classic.
man, Banks a cold dude, man. Him and Shorty be together, man. Them dudes is cold dudes, man. I grew up wanting an Ant Banks beat so bad. Like that was one of the things, you know, you wanted to try to get on the spotlight, get in the spotlight so you can get an Ant Banks beat.
Now check this out, real quick, real quick on my history. Like my pop is a drummer, right? So he's like one of the best drummers in New York, and I watch him, you know, play funk a lot. Like I grew up in a funk household. That's why I was always more attracted to West Coast sound, to the West Coast sound. So where did that sound come from?
Funk.
Funk. Like,
Funk.
what artists?
I mean, you had all these dudes. You had the Tower of Power. Yeah, you got all these big artists with these big names coming to Oakland. You know what I'm saying? Like at that time, Oakland was a melting pot for black people. It was we had that vibe of the Panthers. We were accepting and loving to black people. So all these artists from all across the country, they're trying to make it to Oakland to play in Oakland because it's the place to be. And at that, we as youngsters, as kids, we as the future rappers are in our living room listening to what our mothers and dads play. You know what I'm saying? So the first thing we want to rap off of, the first instrumental we gonna grab is something that's familiar to us, and that funk was what it was.
Right. So that the difference in the sound between LA and the Bay Area, what's the difference? Like what I hear in LA, they have more like a what's that guy that used the
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, that's what they.
right? Zach.
That's their,
Right.
that's their
Yeah.
go-to. That's their go-to in original sound. I, yeah, that's their
Lakeside,
go-to in original sound.
Right.
Us,
they
we had a
they
we
off
we
that
had more we had a more trunk orientated
funk.
sound. It had to sound good in the trunk of a car. So that's where the 808s and the kicks of the Bay come from. Because the first thing you got to do, the only thing you got to do is be able to be slapped in somebody's trunk. If somebody can't put your song in their car and it slap and move the crowd, you ain't him. You're gonna have to retry that thing. So that's what the first thing all artists did was go to somebody with some speakers and put it in their car. So like a lot of kids, a lot of rappers, they were going to a show or to the stereo. We were going to cars. So that's where the motivation of the sound come from, being able to sustain the audience from a car perspective.
And
Gotcha.
also that it was a different types of funk. Like we used Parliament and Funkadelic and George Clinton, and they did too. But the style of LA and the style of Oakland is different. So it went. They had that gangbang style, and they had this, the aura of how they react, and we have the laid back pimp Mac, that like they must say, that slapping, that constant, that beat.
And I feel like, no disrespect to LA, LA is predominantly Hispanic, and the Mexican culture has it blend within the black culture. Like if you look for the Dickies, the khakis, the lowriders,
Hmm.
things of that sort. Now I've heard that there was black people were doing that first out there. I don't know because I'm not from out there, but from my perspective, I I always seen the parallels between the Hispanic culture bleeding into the black culture in LA, and that sound is something that they both enjoy.
Mm.
And you know what? And I want to add one thing. Don't LA, their beats, even though they might have the same beat, it may be a little bit upbeat with a soul clap, you know, kind of high because Soul Train was down there too. So it was more dancing music. They'll make the same beat, but it'd be more upbeat slightly to dance to it, and we'll make it a little slower to ride to it, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
that's true. That's
Yeah,
true
I
too.
agree with that. I would agree with
Okay.
that.
No, so I'm looking at the chat. I'm like agreeing with the chat. So now I think this person who's talking in the chat, the person who's talking in the chat, how old are you? Because you're bringing up the first name you said was Dr. Dre. That's like,
That's,
you said Dr. Dre. You said
yeah, if you age, you should be saying the class wrecking crew.
right.
If
Right,
you age, you
right.
know what I'm
World class wrecking crew. What was QO crew in action? Something like that.
CIA?
saying? Yeah,
CIA.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, this person might be young. He said LA had underground rappers like Exhibit.
What? Exhibits from New Mexico.
Yeah. He ain't even from LA. He had a jurisdiction with that comment.
He by
But
West.
ain't exhibit kind of LA?
Yes, he
I
is.
mean,
Like
I
like
kind of put him in that area with like Jo Felony and cats like that. Like they in his like weather area of like you not LA for real, but you LA regional. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I give it. He's of LA. But he's by way of New Mexico. So I'm only bringing that up because you're talking about the beginning and the underground. In that time, he was some kid. He was a kid in New Mexico then. Like if you said
yeah,
something like King T,
right,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Oh,
King.
King
Yeah,
right.
King T.
T.
Yeah,
Yo,
King T.
hold on, King
Yeah.
T.
Or
Yo,
low profile, something like that. You know what I'm saying? Come on,
what about the alcoholics? Where they from?
the licks from LA.
Okay.
Yep, and that's like in the '90s. What '93? Like when they
Yeah.
had the licks and exhibit, we had Souls of Mischief, Casual. That was our answer to all that. When they came up with the Dog Pound, the Loonies was our answer to that.
Nice, nice. Now Looney's is Yuck Mouth. What the other brother didn't really
Numbskull.
resonate.
Numbskull.
Yeah, he didn't,
Numbskull, yeah.
he didn't have a solo career like Yuck.
So okay, let's go back, rewind timeline, right? So we had we went you gave me all the MCs that came out around after Short and all that. Around the 90s, 95, when Mob Deep and all of them was coming out, what was your answer to Mob Deep out there?
The delinquents.
We got a whole lot of. We got a whole
Dangerous
lot of.
crew.
We
I
got a
would say
whole.
Dangerous crew.
At that point, we have a whole lot of. We got next to kin in the under surveillance coming out the 20s. We got
Yep.
uh, we got the bad influence. We got Sidle, 3 times crazy, uh,
Delinquents.
delinquents, the Who
Who Riders.
Riders. You
Oh
know,
man, damn, this is like throwback. Yo, I forgot about that.
yeah.
The
So
Who
like at that
Riders.
point, at that point we was coming with abundance. Frisco was on the map with
RBL posse.
RBL posse, the Get
Oh,
Low
hold up. So you said RBL,
GLP.
Bluebird on my shoulder. Can
I
I?
got a blue.
Yeah. Right. I got it. Okay, now you answered Mobb Deep and all that. So now let's take it into the 2000s. When I think of Oakland, or I think of the Bay Area, I'm thinking of Mac Dre. You know that his name got to come up.
Yes, sir. Born in Oakland, raised in Vallejo.
But Mac Dre is actually older than a lot. He's like actually Spice One in them generation, correct?
Yeah, but Mac Dre went to jail and it, froze his career. Like he was
Right.
on, he had a deal like that song that Drake's popping right now, the Too Hard for the Radio. That's Mac Dre's song. That was his single off his when he was, I think he was signed to Relative or some Relativity or something. But that was his single off of his first run. You know what I'm saying? When he
And
was
that,
just straight player.
and what year was that, Jay? What was that, like 89, 90?
90, yeah.
Yeah,
89.
90s, yeah, something like that. Yep.
So
That's
Drake just redid a record from Mac Dre from 1990 that just hit the charts.
Yeah, and he pulled a cold little chess move with that record, man. Like if people don't understand, LA and the Bay, we always have this little problem between each other, and there's a lot of us that work behind the scenes to try to bring it together. But even in jail, I believe it started in jail. But we had prominent drug dealers like Feline Tracy, rest in peace, who went down there to buy dope and ended up getting killed. And so it's always been this tension between the Bay and LA. And what he did is went and took the Too Hard for the Radio song, which he knows he's going to get automatic Bay Area backing. Then he went and got Pilo, who's a Bay Area native, to make the beat, and that's just doubling up on the backing. And then on the second verse, he disrespect Mustard and Kendrick from LA, which put us in a cold predicament because the song is number one on our radio station in the Bay Area right now. But they gonna keep on yelling. I mean, hearing the disrespect. You know what I'm saying? So he pulled a cold strategic chess move, which I wasn't too fond of.
Okay, what's the name of the
Yeah, I didn't
song?
like that. I didn't like that either, especially since he had a history when he had to cash out rapper Forte for stealing his whole what,
Yeah.
3-4 bars of his whole song, something like that.
Not 3-4. He stole his whole verse.
He saw the whole verse. Woo.
Yeah, that's
Man, I don't listen to Drake, so I just heard about it and I just Canadian action. I just
yeah. He stole the whole verse, and that's cold. And Fo only got a little because of record business. He only got a little percentage of that 100-something thousand.
Hold on. Somebody in the chat said Mac Dre was not lyrical. No in New York knew him. Are you crazy? I just mentioned Mac Dre. I'm from New York, so I don't know who that is in the chat. Sometimes we have trollers and all that.
Yeah, he wasn't a barsmith, but he was lyrical. Drake, like you go back and listen to old Dre. Dre put it down. Like he put it down like his area was putting it down. He came from the era of Too Short and Forte and all them. So he was a player pimp rapper before the Feds. Then he came out and understood marketing. It's crazy because myself, I was introduced to Dre after he got out of the pen, and he was focused on his image and he had a big afro. He was just kind of different, and we was at the first Andre Ward fight in Oakland at the Coliseum, and I was introduced to him, and I was looking at him cross-eyed like, what's the fuck happened to Mac Dre in jail? Because he was so different from what his original persona. And I was like, what the fuck? He Boosie. You know what I'm saying? Like Boosie means not in style, like not cool. And I'm like, what the fuck? But all this time he was building a persona and marketing himself and taking himself to a different level. So people would see that and hear that, see that era and hear that music and try to swear by that's Mac Dre, but that was Mac Dre being a genius.
Yep, because Mac Dre was essentially like Humpty Hump, just rapping with guns and dope on him and pimping. He was fun as Humpty Hump, but he was just rapping with, you know what I'm saying, like adding street culture to it. I seen him one time, and I swear it looked like I was looking at a cartoon. He looked almost unreal. When he walked, it damn near looked like he was floating.
You said he had aura.
And he was solid as they come, man. Like 2 weeks before he died, Nooch brought him up to 2-8 to buy some weed from us. And he just pulled up in a white Beamer 750 with a snow white chick driving it. And he like, man, I went to school here. I got kicked out of school. I went to school here with Sicka. Man, it was just crazy. You know what I'm saying? But Dre was one of them ones, man. He didn't have that hip hop lyrical like, you know, with the wordsmith and things like how we rap, but he was a lyricist. He put that shit down to make you understand what he putting down.
Right. Now we got about 4 minutes left now. So before we cut out, of course, I would love for you brothers to come back again, you know, and chop it up and talk about, you know, the history and Oakland culture in general, because also the Panthers came out of Oakland, so I'm very I'm in tune with that. You know what I'm saying? You know, this whole podcast is based on consciousness. You know what I'm saying? So that's you know what I mean? That's why we got right now 4 people in the chats, because it's not talking about, you know, the lessons or what have you. This is definitely a part of the podcast I want to rebuild, because we did have it before, but then we I mean, as far as like music is concerned, we had it before, and then we kind of fell off on it. So we definitely want to have y'all back. So now to close out, right? Let's fast forward and talk about the artists that are out right now that we should check out.
Be the Weeder.
Be the
Weeder.
WEEDA, man. He got a whole
Shady Nate.
Shady. Lyrics, yeah, Shady. Stop.
That's next to Ken. We're still doing it. We're still in it.
Man, Free Chris the Fifth, which is a hell of a lyricist.
Yeah, that's my boy Craig. Yeah, Craig up there, man.
You know what I mean? Delinquents. You got a man, Filthy Rich.
Lil Bear, the Rubber Band, Lil Bear.
Young Gully. Young Gully too.
Oh, Gully, man, yeah. Like if y'all looking for that type of lyricist and stuff, lyrics and stuff, Young Gully, Shady Nate, check for them guys. Mr. Fifth Beater, like these guys can rap, really rap. They can do a lot.
All right, now, real quick before we close out, this is in New York, right? The culture right now is a melting pot as usual, right? But back in the days, it was more like 5% and all that. And then in the 90s, early mid 90s and above, it became like a blood state, really. Like, and it still kind of is like it's blooded out. This whole state, right? And, but now we got GDs, we got all kinds of gangs out here now. So in Oakland, where's the culture now?
Confused.
Yeah, we
same thing like New York.
Yeah, we adopted something that we should have never adopted. What was this whole? Honestly, I'm not even. I was gonna say initially, I was gonna say drill culture, but I'm gonna take it back further than that. I'm gonna take it back to when we started adopting down south culture and we lost our identity. When the Hot Boys came out and Juvenile and all them came out, everybody started talking about days from the Nolia and all that other type of stuff. And I think that opened up the door for us to lose our originality and our foothold and why everybody was taking our material. Like why DJ Mustard got the sound that he got. Like DJ Mustard got his sound, peace be upon him, from my boy Hawk. He passed away some years ago, but that's where that sound came from. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like when it comes to that idea of losing our identity, the same thing happened. It was a industry thing that happened. They emphasized on this drill culture and this I guess studio to prison pipeline.
Me myself, I feel like it boils down to the leadership. I think they because of the threat of the Panthers, and they don't never want that to resurface because Oakland has a nucleus to bring a lot of people together. We connected with Chicago, Detroit, like LA, like we got a nucleus that we can bring a lot of people together. And I think that they specifically target our leadership to keep it crippled because one thing you can, if you talk to the youngsters, I don't got no big homies. I don't follow nobody. This and that. We do this and this and that. That's because of the crippling of the leadership. They have all our leaders and people like myself are forced to be for your own safety to stay free, stay alive. You have to move away and reach back. You know what I'm saying? Which makes the situation weak. Like if I'm not there every day, I have a stronghold in my neighborhood. But if I'm not there, I've been gone 16 years. There's a lot of people who come to start taking over that leadership and lead people astray and lead them to a wrong way. You have faulty leaders, then you end up looking for something. And what they do is they get fixated on what's available and what's working, and then they try to emulate that.
Right. On that note, man, thank you, brothers, for coming out this evening. I really appreciate you. Share, comment, like, share, subscribe. And that's all I got to say. Peace to everybody in the chat. This person in the chat, peace to you. And everybody have a good evening. And we are out.
And thanks for having us. Thanks, y'all, for tuning in.
Peace and blessings, man.
No doubt.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Peace.
Shalom.